Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm starting to notice a pattern with these movies set in Texas with chainsaws.
And I'm Gary, and today we're going to review and discuss Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2022. From writers Fede Alvarez, Rodo Segues, Chris Thomas Devlin, and directed by David Blue Garcia. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story follows a pair of sisters, Lila and Melody, as they head to Harlow in Texas after Melody has bought up some of the town with her friend Dante. Once there, they come across Ginny, played by Alice Creed, who runs an abandoned orphanage. She has one more person staying at the orphanage, and after Ginny is taken away in an ambulance, this last resident puts on a mask and heads out into the street.
So after Lionsgate pretty much failed to make the allotted amount of movies that they'd promised to make, they had lost the rights to it. This time around, Legendary Pictures picked up the rights to make the next installment in the franchise. And when they finished it, they were like, I don't think we'll release that.
Oh, why?
And then they ended up selling it to Netflix. So this film was actually shot in 2020 and didn't release for a whole 2 years.
Wow.
Because, well, they were afraid that they'd made a bomb. And so Netflix was like, yeah, we'll buy it at a discount.
Yeah.
We'll put it out. Obviously, this is, the first Texas film now not to get any kind of cinema release.
Yeah.
And subsequently, I think it's come out and hopefully by now mostly been forgotten.
Not if you've got Netflix, it's still on there. You know, it's 2022 it came out, it's 2025 now. It's still on Netflix. Netflix is like, no, we'll just leave it there. Like, we don't own any of the other movies, but at least we have this one. And I remember seeing this one come out and I went, it's on Netflix. That's good. But by this point, I'd gone through the Howling series, the Halloween series, the Saw series, finished off a load of horror series and thought, well, now this one's on Netflix. Let's see what they can do. And I want to say I didn't want to be disappointed, but I kept that in the back of my mind that, you know what, prepare to be disappointed.
Always, yeah. But especially, I mean, when this film came out, I watched it when it released and I was like, this was just disposable, entertaining trash.
Yeah.
And I had no real investment in the franchise. I had not seen any of the films in the middle. I'd seen the prequel movie and the remake and, of course, the original film. And I was like, I love that original film so much that it's almost blasphemous to watch any of these horrible attempted sequels, remakes, sidequels, prequels, whatever.
Yeah.
They just all of them near enough missed the mark. And it just goes to show, like, that lightning in a bottle of that original movie, that you just can't quite replicate it. And so they're like, well, we'll double down on the gore and the splatter. That'll make up for the fact that we're terrible filmmakers that cannot emulate the sheer terror of a bloodless horror movie experience.
Yeah.
And so with this one, when you see the name Fede Alvarez, you're like, okay, Mr. Don't Breathe, Mr. Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what you can do with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And apparently, the original 2 directors attached to this film both quit the project 1 week into production over in Bulgaria. Because, yeah, that's right. This is yet another Texas Chainsaw Massacre film where they don't even shoot in America.
No.
Yet alone in Texas. So, let's add that yellow filter. Whoa, there we are. We're in Texas now, Ian.
Yeah, it does look horrible. But we start off with this, typical narration that we've normally gotten used to with a lot of these movies, where basically 5 teens in the 70s are driving through Texas and happen to come across some guy who wore a skin mask, and they were chainsawed up. And this one, I remember for this, watching it for this review, where this one got the idea from for bringing back its legendary character. We do have Sally Hardesty being played by Owen Foray, who's once her friends were all killed and she'd escaped in the original movie, she's now grown up and become a Texas Ranger. And we hear about this once we are introduced to Lila and Melody stopping at a gas station to fill up. And, you know, Melody is watching this documentary on the TV about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And she's looking around and they've got like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or chainsaw kind of bottle openers and corkscrews. And it's the idea that this thing actually did happen, but now you're in present day and it's all just really a joke because it's all like an urban legend. It doesn't really happen. You only see this thing in the movies. And I kind of liked that because it's the movie's poking fun at itself.
Yeah, well, it's going to hit that meta level anyway, so it's going to become almost self-aware. But yeah, it's the typical Texas Chainsaw Massacre opening where your teens are at a gas station.
Yeah.
And you have the Harbinger who's just like, nobody ever found him because he wore a mask. Oh, okay.
She must have looked for that maniac for more than 30, 40 years.
So she found him.
He was wearing a mask.
I know a mass killer who hid in a sewer for 4 years.
Exactly, yeah. These movies, man. What's happening to these killers?
But we get introduced to Richter as well, played by Mo Dunford, who is a local Texan. He pulls up to the gas station in his big truck with his big gun, and Melody's got some comments to say about him. And like I said, with this coming out of 2022, I got the feeling that, like, you know, the writers of the film were poking fun at society, you know, like judging people who have got guns and Texans who want to protect themselves, and, oh, my phone is more, you know, destructive than your gun will ever be kind of attitude. And I was just like, I get it. I'm just waiting for Leatherface to turn up and chop you all up into mincemeat. Because if he didn't, like the first time I watched this movie, if he hadn't, I wouldn't care, and I just wouldn't even be going through the synopsis of this movie. I'd be shitting on it. But there are hopes.
Sorry, big gun makes you uncomfortable.
I've seen bigger.
Well, the film does, I will give it some credit, a fairly efficient job of establishing the four main characters, or at least the two mains with the two sisters. And it tries, though, to establish this backstory about how Lila is a high school shooting survivor.
Yes,
and that's why she has a reaction to, you know, the gun. And we also then see the bullet wound on her chest. And then we kind of see a snippet of a flashback of what happened.
Yeah.
And so the film kind of reminds you throughout about that, just so that they can empower her later on. But I was like, but it felt so forced, it felt so ham-fisted, and it didn't really develop her character at all. It was like just something that the film could try to hang something onto, but it didn't really explore her character or her trauma or anything like that.
That's it, because we don't get anything from Melody either. No. You know, we get no back real history with them, or, you know, we get this throwaway line about Lila going to live with her dad. We don't know what dad does. We don't know what happened to mum. You know, it's just these two are in Harlow, in Texas, and Melody is thinking about buying some places up so that she can turn it into a town, so that they can get a bunch of influences in to make loads of money with her friend Dante, who's a chef. You know, we start to get this information given to us because they get pulled over on the road, don't they? And we get introduced to Sheriff Hathaway, played by William Hope. He was always an asshole, I heard.
Always.
You know? And he kind of introduces himself to them, and he says about them heading to the town as well. It turns out Melody and Lila are local. You know, Sheriff Hathaway is very protective of the local town and the local people. So I'm like, oh, okay, so we're all friends then. Yay. And they pull into this town set. It is a massive set.
Well, yeah, especially considering we know they shot it in Bulgaria, so we need to construct all these, like, American buildings from the 70s.
It's like one street.
Yeah, that's it. That's the town. So, yeah, and not only that, you barely get to see inside any of these buildings, well, because we know there's nothing inside them.
That's it. Richter owns one. He's a mechanic. He lives there.
I don't know if he actually lives there, or maybe he does, because he was the one that we find out that the teens had actually hired to help renovate the town for the investors that are going to be turning up on the party bus later.
Yeah.
Because they're basically going to modernize this whole town now that it's mostly deserted.
That's the interactions that they've had with Richter on the road, that now they're like, oh, we're apologetic. We actually want to be all friends.
Yeah. Small bit of trivia for you. I
Yeah.
did actually like the... did you see the sign as they were driving in where it said population to Harlow?
No?
Population 1,974.
All right.
That's the same year the original film came out.
Ah.
I was like, it's a nice little touch. Yeah,
Nice.
it's fine. I like that.
I like that. That's
But
cool.
then, it's time to start exploring these empty buildings.
Yeah, they see
A
Dante.
Confederate flag.
Yeah, sees this flag and obviously immediately goes, "Oh, that's racist. We need to take that down because I feel, ashamed or whatever or hurt."
Oh, the investors won't like it. So Dante ends up going into the house, going up there to try and tear the flag down. And I do appreciate this shot where it's a pretty wide shot where Dante's moving off to the window to reach out. But on the far left frame, Leatherface is just sat in his chair asleep.
Wow,
And you
nice.
might, he's not moving a muscle, and so you might just mistake him for the scenery.
Yeah.
But once you notice him there, you're like, wait a minute. He's right there.
He's right there,
So I was
yeah.
like, that's a cool little setup. But then they are interrupted by the actual homeowner.
Baby, I'm fine. I'm all right. Just go back to your room.
Virginia McCumber, played by Alice Creech, who's older now, running this orphanage. She's had loads of boys come in and stay in the town with her, but there's only one left, and she's actually still got the deeds to her place. The bank hasn't foreclosed on her place, so legally she still owns it and she's still able to live there. Dante's obviously really upset by this.
He also doesn't believe her. He knows he's got the deeds to the house.
Yeah, and they kind of antagonize each other, but Ginny, being older, obviously has a kind of a moment, a heart attack or kind of thing. But that's when also they've got the police coming in. They've got Sheriff Hathaway there and his deputy. And then that's also when we're introduced to Leatherface looming at the top of the stairs. We don't know he's Leatherface at the moment. We can't see his face. He's, he's just shadowed up. But it is really kind of well built up that he's there. And you're not wanting to hate these teens coming in, kind of throwing these people out to the street. But at the same time, the movie is kind of the pacing, the script is forcing it that way, that once Ginny collapses and gets kind of thrown in the back of the van, because that's the only ambulance kind of thing that they've got there, as she's starting to die, she even turns to Leatherface, or whatever you want to call him without his mask on. She's like, "Don't go in my room." So I'm like, okay, so she's trying to stop him. But Dante's girlfriend has gone along with them, and she's trying to keep in contact with Melody and Dante about what's going on, because Melody and Dante are taking care of the investors that have just turned up on the bus.
But yeah, so with the old lady croaking, Leatherface starts to have a bit of a panic attack, and the deputy lays his hands on Leatherface to calm him.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a calming effect as Leatherface snaps his wrist and impales his broken bone of his wrist into his neck, killing him immediately.
Pretty devastating kill.
Gorman ends up panicking, of course he does, and ends up taking a bullet through the back of the neck.
Yeah.
Then crashes the vehicle into a combine harvester, and Ruth's like, no!
yeah. I gotta admit, I did really like this sequence. I like the imagery, the cornfield, the combine harvester. I mean, I know we've got that horrible filter making everything yellow, but like this tense sequence where Ruth is sat quietly or trying to be quiet in the front of the van, and she's trying to text out to tell them what's going on, and she's watching him cut the face off of Ginny so that he can wear it as a mask. Like, is that a mark of respect?
I thought he used to cut up his victims. Yeah, 11 people he loved.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I was like, well, okay, well maybe he now just wants to be mum.
That's it. I mean, he's 70 years old. This is Leatherface from the original movie, so he's just been sat at this orphanage since Sally escaped.
Right, he must not have been committing all of the murders we've seen across the franchise, because I'm pretty sure Sally would have found him by now.
Yeah.
Considering she's now no longer in a psychiatric institute.
I mean,
and now she's a Texas Ranger, because she eventually does get the call. Because when Ruth is in the car, she grabs hold of the police radio. There's no one at the police station, but the guy at the gas station picks up on this.
Yeah.
Then calls Sally, like, hey, I think we got your guy here. Might want to get a move on. And so we get her kind of Ramboing up, you know, packing the car, getting ready to go.
Classic Laurie there, getting her stuff ready to head out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Ruth does get killed in the car. It is quite savage, actually. You know, she does try to sneak past William Hope after he's had his face smashed in, but she gets grabbed by Leatherface. He grabs a piece of glass and just guts her open. And I was like, you know what? I wanted to hate on you, movie, but since he's turned up, he has gorily killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, and he's killed 3 people so far. So.
I'm satisfied. You know, I've gone through, like, this is like the 9th movie in the series. I'm actually satisfied at this point. Thanks, you know.
But then the film goes and does something really stupid. Like a green screen effect of Leatherface, like... popping up out of the field just over the horizon. I'm like, that looked ridiculous. Like, did they superimpose him into that shot?
It's like a shot like you would have in a dream sequence.
I'm almost convinced the shot of him walking out of the field onto the road and walking into town with the storm in the background, I'm like, this is all CGI. Or it's superimposed in. I was like, there's just such a fakeness to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's an immediate disconnect I have where I'm trying to appreciate the visuals, but it just feels like feels like you can see all the layers and it doesn't work.
That's it. And it immediately turns to nighttime and the rain's starting to come in now. There's this storm and Dante and Melody have decided that they're going to go into the old orphanage and they're going to try to look for the deeds, because if this is true, Dante has kind of messed up and they have caused this death. And I'm in defense with Gary as well, that this movie started to take this really bad turn. Especially, I tried to get behind Lila and Melody, but they've got no real good backstory. They've got no real back history. And Melody is constantly shitting on Lila, telling Lila, look, you know, stop doing this and stop doing that and stop going around here and stop doing that. I need you by me constantly. I need you helping me. So then Lila's like, yes, I will help you. Yes, I will help you. I'm the really good sister. And Melody goes, oh, I don't need you now. I need you to stand over there and do nothing.
Well, that's it. Like, the film opened with Lila, so you think that she is our main girl, our final girl.
Yeah.
But then 5 minutes in, the attention immediately shifts over to Melody, and she is pretty much the central character throughout.
Yeah.
Because the sister that's got the backstory of the school shooting is now just renegated to just hang out, do nothing, stay out of the way, don't get into trouble, stop smoking, don't sleep with that guy. Why have you got a gun? What are you doing over there?
Yeah.
Now we're leaving. Get in the car. It's like, because we've just found out we've screwed up and I want to protect my image because we're all influencers and this is all a public thing.
Yeah.
So, oh my God.
Yeah, but they get into the orphanage and Leatherface has come back as well. And he takes out Dante. I mean, we think he's been killed quickly, but actually he's just taken a meat cleaver to the face and he's still kind of alive. But Melody is hiding upstairs. She's found the deeds. She's realised they've screwed up. But she's hiding underneath the bed and Leatherface comes in and smashes open the wall and finds his old chainsaw. So you're telling me that the Borg Queen took him in in 1974, 5, whatever, and thought, oh, I know what, I'll seal up this chainsaw into my wall and hope he never finds it?
Right? Like, what was the idea behind that? And the glorious thing is, this chainsaw that's been sat there for decades, that hasn't been maintained, it hasn't got fresh gasoline in it. Oh, of course it fucking works. And now the film will just jump the shark again and again and again, where Melody's like at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
She's trying to sneak past Leatherface. Leatherface just turns up out of nowhere, didn't make a sound at the top of the stairs, throws the sledgehammer at her, which probably should have killed her. It landed square in her chest.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, not only that, she falls through the stairs and hits the deck. And eventually she gets up like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, am I seeing the same thing?
I mean,
like,
this is the same guy. Leatherface has literally just taken out Richter as well.
Yeah.
You know, that was a pretty cool death sequence. He took that hammer to the knee.
Yeah.
Which broke his knee. And then when they go to the window, he just kind of slices him in the head with that fucking piece of glass.
Yeah, and then just bludgeons him to death with that hammer.
Yeah.
Which is, it's very grotesque. The gore is fantastically done. It's the real highlight here.
Yeah.
But the fact that the plot armor characters can take such abuse and just get up and have, like, no impact on them.
Yeah, I think that's the director's way of going, oh, well, look at the first movie. Look at Sally in that one. Like, she could survive quite a lot. And it's just like, no, they did that by luck.
They psychologically abused her more than physically.
You know, that's the whole dinner table sequence is iconic. We just, you know...
But now we've got Melody running around underneath the floorboards of the house. This is the scary part because the chainsaw blade is through the floorboards, cutting up and chasing her so she can't escape. And then this again, where the film insults your intelligence. Like, maybe you've never wielded a chainsaw, but you have an idea of how it works. Like, when you see somebody cutting down a tree with a chainsaw, then it just goes zoomp, and the tree comes down. Here's Leatherface running through the house with the chainsaw, cutting through floorboards like they were made of paper. He cuts through solid foundation beams instantly. He cuts through metal pipes with a 50-year-old chainsaw. I'm like, is this... I wanted the film to end immediately. And then what? The character gets doused in shit from the pipe.
That was gross.
So funny. It's like, maybe if I was watching Evil Dead, yes.
Man, you are so angry, and yet you love the second one.
Yes, because it's just so batshit wild,
But
it's so like anti Texas Chainsaw Massacre from the guy that made it, who understood that he didn't want to redo it, and you can't.
That's why I kind of enjoyed this one, because at least this one's got kills in it, and fucking people are doing stupid stuff. You know, at least it's going somewhere. I like this one should have had like William Hope should have turned up again with like more chainsaws. That's what they should have got Sally to do. Sally should have had extra chainsaws on her. Oh man, you missed the mark. Instead, what we do get is probably the biggest moment in the entire franchise for 9 movies, is where Lila and Melody have they're getting ready with all the influencers. They're getting ready to escape. It's kind of interesting that Melody at this point is absolutely screaming her head off of all the shit that she's seen. And Lila, who's obviously been through a high school shooting, is like, what's wrong? Like, tell me. You don't look traumatized at all. Like, you might have seen something really, really bad. She's already seen Dante in the street as well with his face gouged out and doesn't seem to panic.
And everyone on the bus is like, well, it's raining, so we're not leaving town. Just party on the bus now. It doesn't matter that there might be something going on.
Well, Leatherface, we hear like a screeching, and I think he takes out one of the tires.
Yeah.
And then the bus driver gets off to go and have a look, and he gets taken out off screen. And then Leatherface walks onto the bus, and you get this sequence where everybody pulls up their mobile phones, because obviously it's the age of the internet and everybody's live and streaming and whatnot. And so the entire world gets to see Leatherface.
Try anything and you cancel, bro.
Oh, fuck. And he goes on a chainsaw spree in the bus. Pretty fucking cool.
It's,
you know,
it is the fact that the film positions again Leatherface as someone you root for now. You're like, yeah, I actually want to see Leatherface kill all of these idiots with their phones.
This is also just after, man. This is all after I've just sat through Michael Myers taking out all the people in Halloween Kills. So when I watched this, I'm like, thank God somebody somewhere is still showing what gore can actually do.
Yeah, I appreciate this sequence after the comical setup.
Yeah.
The actual payoff is fantastic. This is, without a doubt, this franchise is, honest to God, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And it's by a busload, so it's kind of fun. And we had a character earlier that we'd established as the banker.
Yeah.
She ends up trying to get out the window, like one of the semi-smart people on the bus that tries to actually get off the bus.
Yeah.
Well, she half gets out.
Yeah.
But everyone else is just like, we're just going to tap on these windows, which I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to break from the inside in case of emergency.
Yeah.
No one tries to scoot around Leatherface's. He takes more time cutting through flesh than he does through steel or solid wood.
It's the man and woman that come together, don't they?
So
and
he
then it kind of
doubles them.
sexualizes
Yeah.
it. It's it's wrong.
And so, at this point, Melody and Lila manage to escape because they managed to climb up through the top of the bus and get out. And then, just in time, Sally's turned up.
Yes.
And Sally's like, get in! yeah, I'm not going to save you. Actually, I'm going to get out and leave you in the car now. I'm going to go and find Leatherface. You stay here. And then she wanders into the orphanage. She wanders upstairs, and she's got the gun on Leatherface, and she's like, "I got you." And now I'm going to talk to you. You know, you're the guy I've been chasing ever since you traumatized me and killed my family and friends.
Yeah.
Now say my name.
I'm going to waste all this time instead of just shooting you and killing you dead and reclaiming my sanity and obviously, you know, dealing with all my 50-year-old trauma. Instead of just blasting you, I'm just going to drag it out and make you speak.
Yeah. I honestly feel like this is the same kind of sacrilege that Fede would go on with Alien Romulus that just really feels like you just have a complete blatant disregard for the original source material. It's infuriating, and you lessen and cheapen the Sally character, which is like one of, if not the original final girl. Yeah. She's iconic.
Yeah.
And to do her dirty this way by just having her try to talk to this guy who's mentally handicapped, who I could barely remember what I had to eat last week. How is he going to remember what he was eating 40 years ago? You were just lunch. He didn't even hear any of your names in that film.
No.
So her standing there going, "Say my name. You don't even recognize me, do you?" I'm like, shoot him!
Say my name. Say you know me. You don't remember me.
But no, she lets him get away.
Yeah.
And so she chases after him, and she gets one shot in his shoulder before he's stealthily managed to disappear with a running chainsaw.
Yeah. So Sally unfortunately faces the end of Leatherface's chainsaw and takes it to the gut, you know, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, you know.
He ran right at her. She shot at him, but she managed to shoot the chainsaw. And of course, the chainsaw, this 40-year-old chainsaw that hasn't been refilled with gasoline, it's able to cut through fucking everything.
Yeah.
Gets shot at by a shotgun and just carries on sawing.
And the thing is, she still survives as well to be
For
able
like
to shoot
5
him
minutes
later.
after she's had a chainsaw through her heart.
Don't run. Don't run. If you run, he'll never stop haunting you.
But Mel ends up ramming Leatherface with Sally's car, and then Lila gets hold of the gun and tries to take him out too. Melody has crashed the car into Leatherface. She's trapped inside it and injured, and it's down to Lila now to be obviously the final girl. And Leatherface chases her around this small facility until they get this final confrontation face to face with each other, and Melody jumps on top of him to obviously help her sister towards the end.
Yeah, it's because we had this whole setup where she's like, doesn't want to use guns, afraid of guns because of her experience. She had the moment where she had like the assault rifle and then click, no, I can't figure it out. So that was kaput. But at least like it was set up and it didn't pay off, but it tempted. So then when she does get the shotgun off of Sally's corpse and then shoots at Leatherface, I'm like, okay, she's actually using the gun. Okay, she's empowered now. Woohoo!
Yeah.
But she runs out of ammo and Leatherface is like,
yeah, I'm still standing.
And so then Melody turns up, helps save her sister. She gets hold of the chainsaw, uppercuts Leatherface with it, who then falls into the water so that his body can disappear.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I like the kind of the hit to the chin, but I was hoping like take his head off, take the mask off, kill him, you know, please.
For good.
Yeah, please don't do what I think you're going to do, which is have his body kind of fall into something and disappear, which it does. And then the two sisters are like, oh, let's leave. Let's get into our car, which has got autopilot.
They couldn't have got on that earlier, where it was like, no, we need to get on the bus to escape. Like, get on our car.
Yeah.
Did you forget you have it?
You know, like, what happened to all their phones? Is there no signal? It probably happened in the movie. I can't remember. But they get into the car. They put it onto autopilot. They open the sunroof. And they start to make their way out of the town. The two of them being happy that they've survived. But Leatherface grabs Melody, pulls her out of the car. And Lila, being stuck in the car because it's in autopilot mode, has to sit and watch her sister get decapitated in the road.
I'm already at the point of fuck you movie, so like,
Yeah,
just like, whatever.
But the movie ends like the original with the final girl screaming her head off, you know, Leatherface dancing in the street with his chainsaw.
We've done it again.
Yeah.
But nowhere near as impactful.
No.
Whoopie fucking do.
Whoopie fucking do.
Roll credits, thank God. How long was that? 74 minutes! My God, how long are these credits? Like half the movie.
Hey, 74.
Oh, wow.
Like 1974. Yeah. Oh my God, wow.
Perfect, yeah. But there's an after credit sequence, because surely you're still going to be sat around for the 10 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to see Leatherface walking back to his old home. Yay, we're setting up for a sequel, which, you ain't not getting. God damn. But yeah, I'm sure it won't be long before we get a 10th freaking film.
Netflix have got to do it, man.
They don't own the rights. They just purchased that film.
Oh,
so,
well. They could probably purchase the rights.
Who knows where the rights have gone now? And yeah, I don't imagine they cost too much at this point. Iain, did you have any favourite scenes?
Oh, man. Like, this is just easy. Like, none of the acting's very, very good. And most of the story, the backstory for the characters is just a waste of time. But the gore. That's where this movie lies. You know, from that moment where he just ends up taking out Dante with the meat cleaver and taking out Richter with the hammer, and then obviously taking out William Hope and killing the girl in the car with his knife, to the ultimate bus sequence with the chainsaw. Yes, it's condensed. Yes, they didn't have much of a budget. Yes, it looks silly. But finally, after 9 movies, I finally got a Chainsaw Massacre.
In a shit film.
In a shit film.
Yeah, I don't really have I don't think I have any favourite scenes other than the Texas Chainsaw Bus Massacre.
Yeah.
That was like all the gore. It was red everywhere, blood seeping through the door cracks. Like, it was gnarly. I liked it.
Yeah.
I just wish I cared for anyone on the bus. So I would have felt the peril of the need to escape.
Didn't care, dude.
But after the setup being so comical, you're like, no, get him, Leatherface. Just staying with the sequence on the bus, did you notice when the mobile phone falls, like the live streaming, you've got the text flowing past?
Oh, right, yeah.
I think the very bottom one was Fede Alvarez saying, that looks so fake. It's like, I would laugh if, I wasn't so pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the attack in the back of the police vehicle, like you just said, where he gets impaled with his own broken wrist bone.
Yeah.
That was bloody, liked that. And Roof also then getting disemboweled, nasty. But then it's followed by Leatherface popping up out of the field, like, woohoo, where am I?
Like a
I'll go this way. Yeah, stupid on top of good gore. And I suppose I also have to give the film, an acknowledgement that they, again, like most of the awful sequels, reuse that sound, the saw buzz sound. And so in this film, when they open up the barbecue, you get the famous Texas Chainsaw sound effect. Whatever. Iain, do you recommend the 8th entry? Is it 9th? 9th entry?
You know what? Yeah, I do. I do recommend it. Why? Because it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Jesus Christ, if you've gotten to this stage in the franchise, like if you've watched 2 and 3, then you might as well watch 2022, just because. If you've sat through Leatherface, the flashback one which leads into Texas Chainsaw 3D, then watch 2022. You know what you're in for. Fucking hell, it's so obvious. It's not very good, but there is gore and there is a bus massacre. What more are you really after? The characters are boring. We don't care about their stories. We just want to see this guy put on this mask and whip out his chainsaw and start killing people. And if you want that, then I really, really, really suggest you just go back to the first one and stay there.
No. I cannot possibly recommend Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. This is a soulless, shameless sequel with forgettable characters, awful writing and lame execution. It's infuriating to suffer through the dumb decisions the characters make time after time, on top of the farcical aspects such as Leatherface becoming invincible in his old age. With a chainsaw that should be deader than this franchise, especially with how this entry treats its legacy characters. Total disrespect. Set up to fail, and comically so. On a positive note, the cinematography was good. There was some nice framing and use of colour made for some alright visuals, but nothing really stand out. The set and locations felt like Texas in Bulgaria, again, and it looked cheap. The film is only 74 minutes long, so it's not going to waste much of your time, and there are some impressive gore sequences, but you'll feel so detached from it all, you'll once again be rooting for Leatherface. Utter trash. No recommendation. Avoid it. Find any other horror film to watch over this one. The Face of Madness returns. Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
Okay, fuck this.